morning. Good morning and welcome to Emerson Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are so glad that you are here. My name is Bernadine Cataletta and I'm a member of this congregation. I offer a special welcome to those of you who are joining us for the first time, whether in person or online. We're grateful that you're here with us today, and we look forward to getting to know you. As a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we affirm the inherent worthiness and dignity of each and every person. Because we are called to side with love, we stand firmly against racism and oppression. We work to support reproductive justice, voting rights, and the LGBTQ+ community. We seek to build a beloved community, not only here, but in our surrounding area. Everyone is invited to join us for social time following the service. Those here in person are invited to join us for light refreshments in our fellowship hall that is in the first floor behind the sanctuary. At 11:25, please join us for religious exploration and small group activities. There will be worship reflections right here in the sanctuary, and additional offerings are listed in your order of service. We begin our worship this morning with these words by Reverend Gretchen Haley. Out of the cold winter air, we gather as people have gathered for centuries in times of darkness to call out for the light. In this gathering of friends, let us take these few moments we have set aside to breathe deeply, pause in preparation, and welcome the stillness. Honor this winter time as a season of mystery, absence, and silence. Allow ourselves to be stripped bare like the trees and the rose bushes, to rest, reflect, and surrender into grace. And now we pause as Reverend Christina will light our chalice as a symbol of Unitarian Universalism. And now in the spirit of love and the beloved community, let's greet and welcome each other as this new day, as we share our congregational affirmation, we need not think alike to love alike. So now let's greet our neighbors. For those in the sanctuary, feel free to move around and offer greetings. For those of you online, please use the chat to introduce yourself or unmute to say hello.
Good morning. My name is Reverend Christina Branum-Martin. It is so good to be with you and to be your minister here at Emerson UU congregation. We have lots of candles to light today. Today is a day where not only are we lighting Advent candles for the Christian holiday of counting down till Christmas with Advent candles. Today is also the celebration of Winter Solstice. Winter Solstice is coming up this week, and so we will be lighting a Yule log. So from our chalice now, Bernadine will light the Advent candles. This is the third week, and it's really interesting, having grown up as a Unitarian Universalist and going to Catholic school. I learned that there were not just specific candles, but there were specific colors to light for certain weeks. So we will light first 2 purple and then a pink. These weeks cover the themes of hope, peace, and last, joy. And Diane, would you come forward? We're going to honor the pagan traditions of the Winter Solstice. The Winter Solstice celebrations are a sacred time, not only in our own lives, but also in honoring nature. This holiday focuses on the returning of the sun, rebirth and excitement for the coming year. Ancestors celebrated Yule by dancing around large bonfires, using evergreen plants to decorate their homes, as we have here, and sharing food in a big feast, which I'm sure many of us will do in the weeks to come. Lighting a Yule log is a symbolic gesture to entice the sun back from the longest night of the year. Thank you, Diane. We're going to sing together a song that honors the solstice in number 55, The Dark of Winter. Before we move into the next element of our service, I want to ask you, is there anyone in here that needs a piece of black paper and a small pencil? Is there anyone who does not have one? Good. In a little while, as our service comes to a close, we will have a ritual. And that ritual will involve laying an intention or letting go of something that you can write a word or a symbol or even just looking at the page. Some people even might write a whole book. So I want you to think as you sit in song and in quiet, that you can conjure up what you need to let go of for this year. In a while, you'll be invited to come forward to fold that piece of paper up and bury it in these containers. In the spring, after these have composted, these will then be put in a memorial garden. So this is an opportunity for us to join in with nature in the process of change and reformation and looking into the new year. We move into our time of celebrating our joys and sharing our concerns and sorrows, and I have a few for this week. And Bernadine will first start with some stones. The first stone we put in is in honor of the Cherokee and the Muskogee nations of the indigenous people who lived on this land before we arrived and took it from them. We also put in a stone in honor of those for hundreds of years who unlawfully worked that land and labored. And if you could find the heaviest stone there and put the third stone in for those in areas of war or conflict, I pray for peace. And we have some things to share. I received this by email this morning, and this is from Brenda Eastman. A joy for this morning's service. A prayer has been answered. Her Fred will not need open heart surgery and will be coming home soon. Yeah. Alex Spitzer, who is like a mirage here in our presence. So glad to see you physically out and about. And thank you, Helen, for giving him a ride today. It's a joy to be back at Emerson today. My legs are getting better. And hopefully after Christmas, I can start weight bearing and I can start learning how to do things again. But a sorrow too. There's been another situation that may lead to another surgery. Oh, 2 stones. Gail Paso asks for prayers for my son, Kai. He has an extremely rare cancer that has returned. And Rebecca Carlson shares that I am holding my friend Adele after her passing. My college days would not have been the same without her. We carry such things on our heart, and this is a community in which we can share them and be joyful, and also let them be shared with others so that the load can be lessened. If you could put one last stone in for the things that have yet to be shared. Thank you so much. And we will close with the Buddhist prayer of loving kindness. May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be free from harm and suffering. May we all be well in body, heart, and mind. May we all be at peace. Blessed be. And I have something that I want to invite Helen to come and share. We're moving into the time of sharing the basket, in which we will pass the basket and gather for not only this community, but share it in half with our community partner. And our community partner this month is El Refugio. And Helen has an experience she'd like to share. Come on up. And you can go ahead and pass the baskets now while we talk.
Good morning. I know you all have been learning about El Refugio this month, and I'd like to share a story of a recent experience I had. In May of this year, as I approached the coiled, barbed wire and heavily surveilled gates of Stewart Detention Center, my body tightened, as it always does when I have the embodied experience of visiting an immigrant detained at this place where dehumanization is supported by our tax dollars. After security screening, a guard gruffly guided me and other visitors to the visitation room. I was looking for a Central American man on the other side of the glass who had called El Refugio's helpline to request a visit. We picked up the telephones, smiled, and introduced ourselves. His spirit's weight was evident. Even before he described his severely declining mental health and his 31 days in solitary confinement for asking a guard to treat him more respectfully. As we practiced at El Refugio, his agency guided the conversation. After describing his business, designing mosaics for pools, he beamed and explained how he devoured the Greek architecture book we sent him, his one escape. And he asked for another about Maya architecture. The humanity of the person on the other side of the glass always shifts something in me. I have to debrief, document, become outraged, and commit more deeply to movements like El Refugio that work to end immigration detention. We are deeply grateful for your support of our work accompanying people detained at Stewart and their families. For ways to volunteer, please see me after the service. Many Emersonians have volunteered for El Refugio over the years and have been similarly moved. Thank you so much for your contributions.
Patricia, would you come forward and share the story? And if you have an interest in coming forward to join us, come on up, the young and young at heart.
Good morning, all. Am I on? Can you hear me? Great. Good morning. So I'm going to share a story today about the winter solstice. Have you all heard that term before and know what it is? What is it? Okay, her response was she doesn't know what it is, but she learned a little bit about it in school.
The shortest day of the year.
Yes, the shortest day of the year.
What does it mean, though? If it's the shortest day, what does that mean about the night?
What does it mean about the night?
It's the longest night of the year.
Very long. I had an opportunity to live in Denmark many years ago, and to me, it seemed like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it was dark. Yeah. And it didn't get light until 9 o'clock the next day. So the shortest day. This week, the winter solstice is coming. It is the shortest day of the year. And I want you all to pay attention to the beautiful photographs that should be, up on the screen. Our ancestors watched the sky move across the sky, the sun, watched the sun move across the sky. As cold weather came, the days grew shorter. In the month of December, the shortest day came. And it was understood that the year died. I got it. And everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world came people singing, dancing to drive the dark away. They lighted candles in the winter trees. They hung their homes with evergreens. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling. Through all the frosty ages, you can hear them echoing behind us. Listen. Ooh, I'm having a hard time turning pages. All the long echoes sing the same delight. This shortest day, as promise, wakens in the sleeping land. They carol, feast, give thanks, and dearly love their friends and hope for peace. And so do we, here now, this year and every year. Welcome, Yule. So what'd you think about that story? What's that mean? It was a rating like this. He's unsure. Okay.
Can I share a story?
Sure. Yes, absolutely. Now if I can take this off.
One of the things we do in our household on the winter solstice is we have a candlelight dinner. And we turn off as many lights in the house so it's really, really dark. And we tell stories about the year. And one of the things I told your families about in the newsletter this week is a candle ceremony we do. We have 3 candles, and we light one candle, and everybody around the table shares something about a memory of this season that they really liked from the past. And then we light the next candle, and we share something that we're really, really happy and excited about for this year. And then we light the last candle, and we share something that we're hopeful for the year to come. So if you happen to have 3 candles in your house on winter solstice, maybe you could light them on the dinner time too and share some stories. And you never know what you learn from the people around you about what their memories are, what their hopes are, and what their dreams are for the year to come. All right? Happy solstice.
Should we do our song?
Yes. Let's sing.
This coming Thursday, in the evening of December 21st, in the Northern Hemisphere, the winter solstice occurs, the longest night of the year. Since prehistory, the winter solstice has been a magnificent time or a significant time of year in many cultures and has been marked by festivals and rituals. It marks the symbolic death and rebirth of the sun. The gradual waning of daylight hours is reversed and begins to grow again. Some ancient monuments, such as Newgrange, Stonehenge, and Cahokia Woodhenge, are aligned with the sunrise or sunset on the winter solstice. In a modern outlook, the winter solstice is an opportunity for rest and reflection in a time when it's often very, very busy. So the long, dark night of the winter solstice itself invites us simply to slow down and take a breath.
The shorter minister. If you would join me in a moment of letting yourself take a deep breath and move into a time of prayer or meditation as your heart calls you to. A dear colleague and mentor, Reverend Rebecca Parker, wrote this meditation on the solstice. Perhaps for a moment, the typewriters will stop clicking, the wheels stop rolling, and the computers desist from computing, and a hush will fall over the city. And for an instant, in the stillness, the chiming of the celestial spheres can be heard as Earth hangs poised in the crystalline darkness and gracefully tilts. Let there be a season when holiness is heard and the splendor of living is revealed. Stunned to stillness by beauty, we remember who we are and why we are here. There are inexplicable mysteries. We are not alone in this universe. There moves one we might call the Wild One, whose gestures alter Earth's access towards love. In the immense darkness, everything spins with joy, and the cosmos enfolds us. We are caught in a web of stars, cradled by a swaying embrace and rocked by the holy night. Let us be a babe of the universe. Let this be the time we wake to life, like spring wakes in the moment of winter solstice.
the tradition of wassailing during the time of year? This is the tradition of rowdy group caroling and the consumption of good food. The word wassail comes from the Middle English toast was heal, meaning be in good health. This phrase dates back to pre-Norman times, so if you decide to go outside and try a quick wassail, you'd be following a time-honored tradition. This toast was not just to humans, but to trees as well. In the pre-Christmas history, a group of merry but financially challenged singers would turn up outside rich people's doors and would sing heartily for their supper. They would ask for figgy pudding. You may have wondered how the connection of figgy pudding was connected to the seasons. Now you know. The louder the song, the better, as it was thought that the sound would wake up the trees. Food was also left at the bases of the trees as an incentive for them to wake. Of course, this also provided nourishment to the animals emerging from hibernation. I hope you have fun wassailing this year. And today you are invited to sing carols to the trees after the service. Please join us.
The pagan turn of the year recognizes the cycle of the seasons. Spring, a time of birth, when young plants begin to grow, and summer, a time of ripening and flourishing and of blossom. And autumn, the time of harvest and slowing down. And winter, as we have come into it, even in our form of being in the South where it isn't so cold all the time, and many would say, thankfully, we have entered into a time of dormancy. The leaves have fallen from most of the trees and the rose bushes, and the soil lies waiting for spring to come. This is a time of turning, and for many, a time of letting go. This cycle of birth and flourishing and slowing down and dormancy repeats again and again in all the measurements of time. We feel it through the day from the freshness of the morning, the peak hours of the day, and all the calls for us to be doing and doing and doing. And then the invitation to slow down in the evening, and the time of rest as we sleep. We feel it throughout our lives from the energy of youth and the fullness of adulthood and the slowing down of aging and the decline as we end the nearing times of our life, the end of life. In pagan tradition, darkness is not seen as scary or evil. Reverend Sharon Wiley reflects on this in this way. I appreciate that much of the theology of Star Wars is about the dark side. But I don't like that the dark side describes our negative emotions. It needs a better name. The pagans got it right, she said. She said darkness is understood as part of the natural cycle of life. The moon is dark for 2 to 4 days every month, and we need nighttime for rest and rejuvenation. Animals hibernate to conserve energy and to slow down and to let go, and rest is a natural part of life. So with this in mind, you have been invited to reflect on what you are experiencing in your life right now. And what do you need to let go of so that you can make room for the new in the new year? It might be something really concrete. For me, it's going to bed earlier and getting more rest. It might be something emotional, like letting go of a grudge or a hurtful memory. It might be something really practical, like letting go of commitments and learning to say, no, thank you. I can't do that right now. Perhaps in the future. So as you have received that little piece of paper, I would like for you to take a moment to write a word or even just a symbol of something you want to let go of, to make room for in the new. And in a few minutes, we will see the words to the hymn, the Voice Still and Small, up on the screen. We'll share this very short 4-line hymn. And then you'll be invited forward. You'll see spoons and containers of dirt. And if you would just fold the paper up and bury it, we will make sure that it composts through the winter season. Would you play a little music? You can stay seated and join me in singing. I invite the two outer sections to come forward and bury your paper. Please come forward from the middle. you rise in body or voice as we join together in singing Find a Stillness, number 352. As we mark the longest night of the year, may we be warmed by the certain knowledge that we will welcome light, more light than today. It has, for eons, for billions of years, been coming, that light that brings us life. May we be awed by the great miracles of light and life itself. And may we in our heart and in our lives, by all that we do, nurture the mystery and the magic of wonder. May we nurture the connection between each other at a time in the season of our world which is so busy. May you take a moment this week. My understanding is it's 10:57 p.m. on the 21st. If you could take a moment that day even and just remember the tilt of the earth invites you into something anew. I look forward to taking these and putting them in a safe place to compost. And in the spring, we will have wildflower seeds put in them. I understand that that might not be appropriate for our memorial garden now that I say it out loud. So I need to check with the committee to see where we can put those wildflower seeds if that's what comes into the dirt. But I know the school above us, the garden school, plants wildflowers, so maybe they'll accept it in their garden. But look forward to the spring equinox, when you will receive a package of wildflower seeds for your own gardens at home. We close with these words as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish the chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. And if you could join with me, these we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again. We have an announcement.
Hello, I'm Mary Miller. I'm on the Social Justice Leadership Team, and I also am a representative on the Activities Committee, as well as in the choir, of course. We're bringing back an old Emerson tradition called circle dinners. So circle dinners are back. So we're excited to bring it back. Circle dinners offer an opportunity for Emersonians to expand their social circles and build relationships within our community. Sign up now to participate in 4 potluck dinners of 6 people each. The dinner dates are all going to be on Saturday, January 20th, February 17th, March 16th, and April 20th. The participants will be scrambled each time, so you will dine with different people. The Activities Committee will collect names and create groups. Each group will have a host. The host will provide a main dish and organize the rest of the group to each bring something. Sign up now to make new friends in the spring. You can register as a couple or as a single person. Please let us know about mobility or dietary issues and whether you could be a host, and the host can happen at your home or at Emerson. There is a link for the sign up in the notebook, but we'll also be signing people up during fellowship hour in the fellowship room, and there's a peanut butter jar to put your form in. So join us in the lovely ongoing practice of building our beloved community. Thank you.
Now that's an exciting new activity for our church.
And she wants to say something.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
So we're having the annual ritual, and due to the weather, we're having it upstairs in room 209, not in the Memorial Garden.
As our service comes to a close, I want to thank Reverend Christina for your beautiful words about letting go, and I think you brought light into the season of darkness. And as our service ends, go now in peace and take peace wherever you go.
I don't